everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, Replicas. I'm excited to see us with Keanu Reeves, of course, Alicia Eve, and Emily Ann Lind. Let's see, I don't know. Oh, Thomas Middleditch. He's funny. And a couple other people in here. But basically, I believe Keanu plays some kind of scientist who is trying to, I guess, replicate his family who had died in some sort of accident. That's basically what's going to happen here. He's going to, replicas, I guess, but he's trying to bring them back. So, I don't know. Ooh, IMDb, what did they give it? 5.6. So, and only 3,700 people have done that so far. But I'll get into it, give you a better idea what the synopsis is about, and tell you what I'm thinking so far, and keep you up to date on anything interesting that happens. So, stick around. I'll be back. Hey everybody, I want to do a quick check-in. We're watching Replicas. We're up to 56-minute, 54-second mark. A little over halfway. I kind of decided to stop here because, as you can kind of guess, that you know what's going to happen in a sense. He's trying to bring his family back to life somehow, some way. And this is the point where he's now successful. It's not a spoiler alert. You've got to figure that's going to happen. But, you know, like the whole first part is he's some sort of scientist that is working on transferring brain signals or something, or implanting their brain. So if somebody dies, he takes their brain and puts it into like a robot. And that's what he's really working on. He seems like he's in Mexico or something like that. And that's his life's work. And that's what he's supposed to do. In addition to that, he has Thomas Middleditch. His character is Ed. He's like his lackey, his partner in a sense. He also has been working on cloning. So the whole thing is, as I mentioned, his family dies from a car accident all in the beginning. No spoiler alert there. And the two of them try to work together to bring them back to life by cloning them and then implanting the brain. Okay? So, okay, while that is very unrealistic, and we all get that and understand that, that's what the plot that they've given us. But there's some other things. So in order to do this, he has to do it outside of his lab. So this is all on the down low. And he has to do it in his own house. So in order to do that, they have to take the equipment from the lab that he was working at and bring it to his house and do that. So that's like, and they even refer to it like 2.7 million per clone box, right? And then all the other stuff. So it's like over $10 million of lab equipment that he's had to bring to his house. And it's like for 20 days. He's got to do it. So nobody bats an eye. In addition to his family being gone. So his family's, gone as he's trying to clone them or resurrect them in some form or fashion. And so what he does is he hacks into their devices and tries to say where they are via social media. So that's how he's covering his end there, which is, interesting in the fact that, okay, no human contact with anybody for over 20 days, and you can just do it all through digital contact, and everybody will be like, okay, everybody's fine or something like that. So, a lot of holes in this unbelievable plot story. And the biggest one for me is that, like I said, he's a scientist that is taking brain information from humans and putting them into robots. Now, it hasn't been 100% successful, but that's what he's been working on. So you gotta think like, hey, this guy is probably pretty well off with that kind of knowledge. Well, he drives like a Chevy Malibu. So I don't know. Maybe it's good on gas. I don't know. I thought that was funny. And probably what happens in these movies is I believe Chevy would have a deal with the makers of this movie so that you show their car. But and that's okay. Nothing wrong with Chevy. But maybe make it a Tahoe or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so that's where we are so far. And it's funny to see the relationship between him and Thomas Middleditch. Like I said, he's a lackey, but he's dragging him into this web of lies in order for him to resurrect his family. Again, stealing all this equipment, everything like that, and just leading him down the dark hole of possibly him getting arrested or something. So it's going to get even more interesting now that they're coming back. One quick note, not going to be a spoiler because I won't go the whole way, but he's stuck with a major decision. So he has a family of 5, right? So 2 daughters, a son, and a wife, 2 daughters, son, wife, and him. Whatever. Yeah. 2 daughters, son, and wife, and him. So they only have enough clones for 3 of them. I think that's what it is. Whatever the number is, it doesn't matter. He has to make the decision on which person not to bring back, because he doesn't have enough clones to do it. So it kind of plays with you. I immediately thought to myself, what if that were me and I had the opportunity to save all but one person in my family? Like, it's a tough situation. So very thought-provoking in that point. The rest of it's kind of silly and fantasy world, but still kind of fun. You gotta, if you go into it with that mindset, you won't be as disappointed, I don't think. But we'll see where it goes from here. Maybe it'll get better. But it's fun, not great. I'll be back in a little bit. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Replicas, and I don't know what else there is really to say at this point. I mean, you know, I kind of told you what it was all about. It's really a lot of make-believe stuff, which is okay. You know, science fantasy or whatever. Science fiction, but fantasy. And yeah, they're going to clone people, and, you know, that's cool. Like, you know, you can go along with that. And, you know, he's got to figure out how he transfers these, the consciousness from a human into somebody else or something like that. And what's the secret? And he's got to figure that all out. And he's got to figure it out so he can save his family. And then, you know, so that's where we got to, and it was, there's a lot of holes in this that don't make a lot of sense. I mean, if whoever made the movie would watch it again and be like, ooh, we can't do that, you know what I mean? That doesn't, you know, and they throw in like I guess a twist. I don't know if it was a twist with the place that he works at and things. I don't want to go into too much details, but they don't explain it. It's like, okay. And, you know, without giving any, it's hard because I don't want to spoil it for you. But I can say that, you know, it's very telegraphed. I mean, you could predict what's going to happen for the most part. Well, you know, I think, well, maybe it could have went a couple of different ways. But when you're watching the movie, I think you know which way it's going to go. Originally, I thought maybe, yeah, I don't want to say what I originally thought, because maybe that's what you're thinking. I'm sorry, it's hard to explain. And, you know, people don't like Keanu Reeves acting, you know, but you know that going into it. If you're not a fan of how he acts, you know, he's got a lot more dialogue in this movie than he does maybe John Wick or something like that. So, I get that. I don't know. I could understand why a lot of people do not like this movie, and it's not a high-rated movie for me either. I'm talking maybe a 5 or a 6, but I'm not talking a 1 or 2. I think the concept is there for the most part. If you want to make something like this, you know, you got to get creative. You can't keep writing the same movie, so you got to come up with different things. Not that this is terribly different, but, you know, one thing I totally forgot to mention was, you know, all the work that he does in changing consciousness and moving brains around, it's all in like the Iron Man software. So he puts a mask on and he's able to float things around and change it over here and do that. That's fun to see. Because I think at some point we're going to be able to do that. We're going to put a mask on. That's going to be our desktop screen. We're going to have Microsoft Word over here, Excel, you know, and you're going to do it all like that. You won't have to have a screen anymore, and you can do that anywhere. But that's down the line, so I like to see that kind of stuff. But other than that, it's not a movie I would have been disappointed if I would have had to pay for it, kind of thing. But I'm not completely disappointed that I watched it. Another one of those movies that I think if they let more people watch it ahead of time before it goes to market, they could fix a couple of different things and make it a little bit better. I mean, this couldn't get much better even if you fix all the holes. But that's it. That's all I got. Sorry I can't explain more for you, because if you're going to watch it, I want you to kind of guess at your own ending and what's really going to happen moving forward. I don't want to spoil it for you. That's just the way I am, you know. So that's it. If you check it out, let me know. Love to hear your comments. Hit the like button. And subscribe to my channel. And thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.